Hello friends, greetings for the day from MJC. Hi, I am Saurav Agarwal, partner here at MJC. Today I am here to speak on the consultation paper issued by SEBI on UPSI. Through this consultation paper, SEBI is trying to reintroduce the reference of Regulation 30 items in the illustrative list of UPSI definition. To simply understand the repercussion, any event or information which you disclose under Regulation 30 will be deemed to be UPSI, and consequently, you will have to close trading window. You will have to make entries in SDD of all the people who have access or who were in the know of that particular information, and specifically monitor trades during that particular period. Now, if we look into this particular proposition fundamentally, we will have to dwell deeper in Regulation 30. The very foundation of Regulation 30 emanates from Regulation 30 Sub-Regulation 4, wherein they have given three criteria, basis which if any event or information which falls under any of these three criteria, then that particular event or information be classified as material. It is noteworthy that only one of the three criteria has reference of significant market impact in it. Therefore, in other words, Regulation 30 is much wider than what is UPSI. Now let's delve much further deeper as to understand what I'm trying to highlight here. Let's take Schedule 3 Para A for an example. There are elements in that particular list. For example, change in RTA, list of or schedule of analyst meets. Now, by no stretch of imagination can this be considered as UPSI. However, these are definitely material information which warrants disclosures. Even in the new version of Para A, which SEBI has proposed in their earlier consultation paper, which has in a way received blessing of SEBI, fine prints of which are still awaited. In those also, there are certain examples which will fall under similar categories, like incorporation of a company, or like any action taken by any regulator against the company or the directors or promoters in context of listed company. Now, these are items wherein there is no parameter to be applied by the companies. And even if these are not of significant values, still it warrants disclosures because these are material information. But there is high likelihood that these are not UPSIs. And therefore, this again warrants tweaking of the language of what is being proposed by SEBI. Let's move ahead, try to go to Para B. SEBI has also always been rightly concerned that many companies have not adopted quantitative parameters for determining what is material information or event. And therefore, SEBI, through its consultation paper, had come out with a proposition of 2 to 5% criteria, 2% of turnover, 2% of net worth, or 5% of average net profit for last 3 years as the criteria for determining a particular information as material, event, or information. Now, so later on, SEBI on 29th March has in a way given their approval for this particular proposition in consultation paper. Now, in what form the approval has been given is yet awaited from SEBI. However, assuming that it is adopted in the way it was proposed, now again we will have to understand that this may be a material information in the eyes of SEBI, but may not necessarily be UPSI. Now let's take an example. Suppose if there is a company with a turnover of 1,000 crores and assuming profitability of 10%, the PAT is of say 100 crores. Okay, so 2% of 1,000 crores will become 20 crores, and I'm assuming that average PAT is 100 crores here. So 5% of 100 crores will become 5 crores. Lower of the two is 5 crores. So any event or information for companies whose yearly turnover is 1,000 crores, any event or information which crosses 5 crores benchmark will be considered as material information as per that consultation paper. And as per this consultation paper, it will be deemed to be UPSI. Now, I think so. This will be very voluminous and it will be information overdose for public at large. Again, I don't think so that's the intent of lawmaker, but as I have been suggesting, it will require some tweaking in the language before it is introduced in the fashion it has been proposed. Moving ahead, and now I'm going into the core part of this particular consultation paper, wherein SEBI has given some statistics on press releases. This, to summarize those statistics again at a broader level, around 1,100 press releases were reviewed, out of which around 230-250 press releases they found that there was a significant impact on pricing, which according to SEBI's consultation paper is more than 2% to the adjusted returns on the stock market. And out of those 230-250 cases, only 20 items were considered as UPSI by the listed companies. Now, this is a dangerous scenario, and therefore, SEBI is absolutely right with their concern as a regulator. However, the flip side of the coin is, if I see on the left hand side of that particular table, out of 1,100 cases, 230-250 cases were UPSI as per SEBI's formula. However, the remaining 750-780 cases were also not UPSI or were not material enough, is also one reading coming out from that table. Now, before I come to my viewpoint on this subject, one more analysis is that SEBI has considered all these press releases as Regulation 30 item. Because why I'm saying so is because the solution which SEBI is trying to come out with is the alteration in the definition of UPSI by drawing a reference to Regulation 30. So we all need to be much more careful about our press releases as well. Going ahead with my analysis on this particular statistic, with this proposition, wherein these 750-780 cases which were maybe material but not UPSI, if this consultation paper comes to light, all these 750-780 cases will also be considered as UPSI. Now that's a worrisome scenario, and therefore again my submission would be that the language should not come in the same way it has been proposed. Now, as a compliance officer, what we should do? Firstly, my earnest submission is that all of us should make our own representation to SEBI. I'm sure we all have our own perspectives, and SEBI is looking out for a lot of participation from all of us and try to understand that how things will pan out if this language is being introduced. And therefore, please make your representation. Now, as a compliance officer, what we should do? And assuming here for a moment that this consultation paper will come to light in one form or the other. But as we all know that now the quantitative parameters will also come into play, and there will be a lot of information which will get germinated throughout the organization, and we would come to know at the back end. As a compliance officer, we know that if all these informations, for example, this 2 to 5% criteria, all these quantitative based information would be classified as UPSI, and entries in the SDD will have to be made at the time when this information or event is being germinated, and the trading window has to be closed. It will be very difficult for compliance officers to identify all this event or information at a very nascent stage at their own level. And therefore, they will have to deeply engage with the employees, key departments of the organization, and I believe we'll have to engage closely with key departments of the organization, empower the head of the departments or their immediate right hands to identify these informations at the very nascent stage and do the necessary compliances. In last few minutes, I have attempted to highlight the nuances of this consultation paper. I hope you all have liked it. Thank you for being a wonderful listener. Thank you. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.